What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. On my quest to uncover the community's rarest and most intriguing coasters, I've come across many rides in other countries, from bizarre and unheard of manufacturers to coasters that we just straight up don't know where they came from. And of these comes one today that I briefly touched on before, but rather than talk about its model, would like to discuss the only particular one left in existence. With the first coming into production in the early 1980s, this compact single looper came from Anton Schwarzkopf and was often seen traveling fairs around the world, but failed to gain much popularity. Despite this, it became one of the rarest and most sought-after credits for enthusiasts in the roller coaster community today. So what is it, and where did it come from? This is the story of Marah Land's Death Train. In 1957, Anton Schwarzkopf, president of Schwarzkopf, built his first attraction, the Deucen Spiral, that traveled around Germany with funfair showman Laufelhardt. Then in 1960, he took over his father's company, leading to the creation of his first full-scale steel roller coaster, the Wildcat, in 1964. Since that time, Schwarzkopf has produced 145 coasters literally all over the world, and continues to be a leading factor in the roller coaster community, despite their bankruptcy and end in the 1980s. That said, right before they went out of business, 6 of the most unique and compact coasters ever seen hit the amusement industry in a last-ditch effort to potentially save their company. With a length of just over 300 feet and one single vertical loop, the Schwarzkopf catapult was sent around the world and began operation at a number of theme parks and fairs. These included Moray's Piers in the United States, Splash Zone Water Park also in the United States, Selva Magica in Mexico, Skyline Park in Germany, Magic Park in Greece, and finally, the one we'll eventually talk about today, Lumiere Park in Italy. Now, the reason I mention Lumiere Park is because it once held the only Schwarzkopf catapult still standing today, though it's no longer at the park. In fact, we didn't even know of its existence at Lumiere Park at all until just a year or so ago when someone in the roller coaster database found it in the background of a photo of the Himalaya, which was another roller coaster at that same park. This was back in 1988 though, and it was assumed to have only operated for one season. It was then presumably scrapped. However, this of course wasn't the case, and by 2005, it randomly appeared again, this time at another park in Italy. Throughout the 2005 season, the catapult was installed at Marah, initially in a service area to test its operating capabilities. Following that, it was then taken down and painted again with the intention of being placed in the park permanently for real this time. On July 1st, 2006, this came to be the case, and it began operation. Unfortunately though, as with a lot of these videos, it suffered major mechanical issues and suffered from capacity issues, so it was closed and torn down just a few months later. Once again, the ride was presumed scrapped. But 7 years into the future, once again, this trooper of a coaster appeared in the world, this time on a traveling fair circuit in Oman. At this point, no one really kept track of it, but it stayed operating and lasted until 2016 for 3 years. This came to an end when it was sold to a park also in Oman called Marah Land, where it was installed and renamed Death Train. Death Train opened on January 20th, 2016, and sadly once again suffered a very short operating period of just 2 months. By March 18th, it closed for quote renovations after apparently suffering from dysfunctional drive tires, which, if I didn't mention already, are the main source of velocity for the catapult model. A video in 2018 showed it briefly operating without riders, but up until now, 2022, it still sits SBNO. This is the only catapult model thought to be still in existence, but some videos I found actually disprove that theory, as there do appear to be a few in disrepair on traveling fair circuits still here and around. Regardless, Death Train would still be the best bet at ever seeing one of these reopen, but it is slim. So why? Well, Marah Land simply lacks the funding to fix it, and has been taking parts off of it for years now. The others I've seen in videos are likewise missing parts or just look all around abandoned, and they aren't good enough to invest millions in. So unfortunately, I don't foresee the catapult opening anytime soon, which is a bummer end to a bummer coaster, but it is still pretty cool. What do you think of this model? Isn't there quite a weird history here? I thought it was super cool, and I would love to ride one eventually, but that's just again my take and history of a very weird coaster that seems to have been forgotten, but is perhaps one of the most unique ever. Don't forget to comment a coaster you want to see highlighted next, and as always, it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you. I'd also like to invite you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, and stay tuned for another video coming in a couple days. That should be exciting. Also, feel free to catch up with us on Instagram as well for those daily posts. We did just pass 100,000 followers, so thank you so much for that. But until then, again, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you all soon. See ya!